What is going on out there in the land of YouTube? I guess it's YouTube. I guess it's all of them, right? There's more than one, isn't there? And now it's working. So pretty cool. The Fifth Amendment cop card is going to be done tomorrow. It's done today, but I'm not going to have it online and ready for you guys until tomorrow. Fifth Amendment cop card is something you can carry in your wallet. It's the same size as your driver's license or a credit card. And what it does is it makes it so that, you know, the big thing that these cops are doing today is they want your ID. They want your ID so bad. I got to get your ID. Now, if you're driving in a car, as you know, I'm not for the DMV driver's license scam. I don't support the DMV driver's license scam. However, if you are driving a car, what I have been leading my people in doing is making sure that you have your license, your registration, your proof of insurance all ready to go on a laminated card. Now, I want you to get the registration and proof of insurance put together on one piece of laminate. You know, your driver's license, you may want to keep. I have a photocopy of mine right here in my visor. However, you have to make sure that you're prepared. And so when you get pulled over, the Fifth Amendment cop card, what it does is it walks you through the step-by-step process of what you do with that copper when you plead the Fifth Amendment and why and how. It's a 6-step process. And that's going to come out tomorrow. I'll have it available tomorrow. I'll do a print-at-home version, and then I'll do a credit card version as well, like an actual driver's license. It's just like your credit card. So the first batch of those credit card versions will be coming out by the end of the week. We're putting in our first order for 5,000 tomorrow. So, you know, it's a total game changer. Especially, it's a game changer in the aspect that if you're walking down the road or you're the pedestrian, you're the passenger in a car, all too often police. So, you know, we learned a lot, right? As we go down this road together, we learned a lot. What did we learn? We learned that there is the two-prong test. So what is the two-prong test, or the two-prong standard in federal court? So if the cop violates your rights and you either get a hold of me or you get that lawsuit written yourself, or you have enough money to get a lawyer to write your federal civil rights lawsuit, what happens to the cop? Well, the two-prong test is the most important factor when you're suing a cop in federal court for a rights violation. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that if, for example, if the cop takes your ID out of your pocket and looks at it, and he violates your Fourth Amendment right to unreasonable searches and seizures, then you're going to sue in federal court. You're going to file a federal civil rights lawsuit, a 1983 under Section 242 of the U.S. Code. So now what happens from there? When you go to court, the judge is going to say, well, we have the two-prong standard. I think it's the two-prong effect or two-prong. Anyway, the point is there's two prongs, and the two prongs are specific. Number one, you have to have stated which right the cop is violating when he violates it. And if you do not state which right the cop is violating when he violates it, then qualified immunity may still be applied to that jackboot thug pig who violated your rights. This is an important fact that you've got to know. You've got to know this, because nobody wants to have their rights violated and then not be able to hold that jackboot thug pig accountable for what he's done to you. And the only way you can hold him personally accountable is if you're able to go around that pesky qualified immunity. And you guys have heard me say 1,000 times, Terry versus Ohio is far more important than qualified immunity. However, it is an important thing that we have to overcome. We have to overcome this qualified immunity garbage. Well, right now, we can't overcome qualified immunity because the federal courts and the Supreme Court, which is a bunch of appointed monarchs, don't think the federal judges are on your side and want to help you get justice. They don't. Most of them have that boot all the way down their throat. They got that cop stick back in the back of their throat. They're gagging. They're sucking cop stick. Every federal judge I've almost ever read the case is a cop sucking piece of shit. Straight up, the judges in this country are absolute and total dog shit. Period. And if you're a judge and you're seeing this, you're the problem, bro. You rubber stamping people's warrants, you rubber stamping people their house is being raided, you rubber stamping arrest warrants for people where the cops are going to say, oh, this was a felony arrest. So we had to go in like a bunch of jackboot thug pigs. This was a felony stop. A felony stop? Oh, well, if it's a felony stop, then anything can happen to you. The cops called it a felony stop. So that's what the Fifth Amendment cop card's for. It's called the 5A cop card. And the reason it's called the 5A cop card is so that you do not talk to cops. So where's a couple of caveats in there? So, for example, when you go down the cop card step by step by step, it's going to walk you through the process. Step 1, you see the cop, you sight the cop sees you. What do? You pull your phone out and you start filming that jackboot thug pig. I put a video out this morning. I saw some cops the other day, and as soon as I saw the cops, I started recording it. And what I realized is that every single person, you watching this video right now, when you see a jackboot thug pig, you start filming that jackboot thug pig. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's why this camera is so powerful. That's why the camera is the power. It gives us the power back because we can record it. Now, the 5A cop card is designed to go around the two-prong test for cops in federal civil rights court. That means that the 5A cop card walks you through exactly the words you say. The moment you start filming, you say, I'm doing a First Amendment protected activity for both press and speech. And then when the cop approaches you and says, hey, let me get some ID, you say, I plead the Fifth Amendment right now. Now, the cop asked you for ID without reasonable articulable suspicion. He can't ask you to identify yourself. If he has reasonable articulable suspicion, you can say these words exactly. I identify as good citizen and I plead the Fifth Amendment. That's how it works. It's so strange. It's so strange that the federal judges who are appointed for life have created these bullshit caveats in our constitutional rights that if you don't state which right the pig is violating, that the pig still has qualified immunity. So if you go and you're gonna audit a cop or you're gonna film a cop and you don't state out loud, I'm using my First Amendment right to be the press, I'm using my First Amendment right to speech, and you don't say it out loud, you know what happens? The cop's qualified immunity is still invoked. That's what I'm talking about. That's the tyranny of these federal judges that they've created. That's not constitutional. That's a bunch of people who are appointed for life. As soon as we stop the federal judge appointment for life garbage, put a 1 in the chat if you don't think anybody should be appointed to a government position for life. Put a 1 in the chat right now if you know for a fact that nobody, and I can feel my blood pressure rise. If you know that nobody should be appointed to any government position for life, especially a frickin' judge, what recourse does the judge have? The judge has immunity from the 1951 case. Qualified immunity? Qualified immunity for judges in the 1951 case of Tenney versus Brandoff is 1,000 times more powerful than qualified immunity for the pigs. It's 1,000 times more powerful. It makes it so the judge can cheat you right there from the bench. And of course, you can't film it because you're not allowed to film inside of a federal court building. Why is that? Well, because then you would actually film the tyranny that's happening to people inside of the federal court buildings. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a tyrannical government from the top down. Why do you think I'm running for governor? Because I can change things from the top. You can't change anything from here. You can't. You can't change anything from here. You have to get the power. You get the power, then you get the freedom. We don't get any freedom until one of us peons gets into power. That's why I always carry my gun. That's why I always carry my gun. That's why my gun is right here. My gun is right here. Because the people who are in power will want to kill me once I get to the level where they realize I'm going to take power as an executive and I'll be able to change things from the top down. That's what I'm doing all this for. There's no point in doing any of this if we don't cause actual change, where we don't change the system. What is this crap of appointing judges for life? Who the hell? And guess who appoints them? The president. So that means the elitists who find these judges, they go to the president and they say, hey, appoint this guy. You think Obama or Bush or Reagan, you think Clinton or Biden or Trump, you think Donald Trump knew a single judge he ever appointed? Do you think he followed that judge's work? Do you think he's like, oh yeah, Amy Coney Amy Coney Barrett, that's a real, she's a real winner. No. Trump didn't know her. Biden doesn't know any of these judges. These presidents don't know the judges that they appoint. They're given a list from elitists, and then the elitist judge is appointed for life. And the elitist judge has a stock in Civic Corps, which is the for-profit prison industry. The elitist judge has got a connection with the Axon or the Taser company. They're all invested in making sure that you are held under a tyrannical police state, prison state, death state. So what the 5A cop card is designed to do specifically is it's designed so that we go around that two-prong test where the cop knows which right he's violating because you stated it out loud, because you followed down the checklist, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and now you're able to say, when you get to federal court, not only did I state out loud which rights he was violating, it's on camera, I informed him, I showed him on the 5A cop card, these are the rights right here that he's violating. Because there are hundreds, if not thousands of cases that are dismissed where the person is not, the pig who violates someone, is not held accountable because the two-prong test. The cop has to know which right he's violating, and you have to state which right he's violating. And we went over this in great detail the other day. So needless to say, I've been working around the clock to get the 5A cop card completely done. I've been working with a designer in Ukraine, actually, believe it or not, which is strange. Someone I found on Fiverr, but I've been working with this thing. I mean, you have no idea. You have no idea how much work it is to get something from thought to product in your hand, to get it where it's just like a credit card where you can touch it, feel it, where you get, it's just like your identification. It's the same size. It goes right in your wallet. You can't lose it. It goes right next to your ID. All my credit cards and stuff that slip in the back of my phone, it goes exactly just like that. It's coming. So 5A cop card should be out tomorrow. At least the print at home version will be out tomorrow. And then you want to get that laminated for sure. You don't want to have just a piece of paper in your wallet, but it's a front and back, and you want to get it laminated. I'm not going to laminate them. I'm going to make a credit card version, and I'm going to make a print at home version. And that's going to be the easiest way for you to get that 5A cop card. And that starts tomorrow. It goes around their qualified immunity if you follow the 6 steps of the 5A cop card. This is the reason why I'm doing it. I sent off another 100 free trifolds today, maybe more. I mean, I literally spent my entire morning sending off free trifolds to people. So it would be easier if you guys had the $9 and you could buy it. But if you don't, I'll keep doing it. Because I didn't create a trifold business. That's just not what I was doing. I was creating a trifold for people so that they would have a way to invoke their Fifth Amendment right and not talk to these jackboot thug pigs. Because anytime you talk to a jackboot thug pig, you're putting your life in danger. They're investigating you. You can't talk to them. You can't talk to pigs. You cannot talk to pigs. Pigs will try to eat you. They're terrible. And so, every time I walk up and I talk to these pigs, you guys see me talk to pigs, right? Listen, I'll shake their hand and I'll be cordial. I'm willing to work with them to change the torture cuffs. I know who you are, though, pig. I know who you are. I know that when the cameras weren't running, you cheated someone, you hurt somebody, you beat someone, you raped someone, you put someone in prison wrongly, you lied on a report. You can't fake it with me, bro. I know who you are. I know what you did. You're a jackboot thug pig, and I know it, and you know it. But hey, in real life, good to meet you, man. How you doing? Let's work on these torture cuffs. You guys saw the other day, I went out to Boulder, to the city of Boulder Police Department, and I asked that copper, so there's no bad cops here? And he said, oh no, there's no bad cops here. The next day, Star someone, I don't want to out them, but someone who has a email address that starts with Star, they sent me over 3 or 4 articles where the chief of the Boulder City Police Department had been indicted. It's every single town, every single state, every single city, every borough, district, municipality, you name it. If you live in a village, there's a jackboot thug pig there who's lying, cheating, stealing, raping, murdering, killing, hurting people. And then there's every other cop on the force who knows who he is and is endorsing his behavior, hiding his behavior. And then there's a DA or a district attorney who's endorsing his behavior, hiding his behavior. There's a city council member that someone called and said, hey, this jackboot thug pig in this village police department, he beat my sister, he raped my wife, And there's some city council member who's hiding it. There's a county commissioner who's hiding it. In every single city, state, town, zip code in the United States of America, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what we've created. A system where you can't even question the authority. If they come to touch you, if you resist in any way, Nivens versus Bartlett 2019, because Nivens slightly physically had an altercation with Bartlett, the judge just said, oh, well, he had a physical altercation with him. That's why I tell you, you can't do anything physical with these jackboot thug pigs. They would love for me to do something physical with them so they could discredit me. And then the judge could say, oh, look, Chille went to violence. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. I've been in so many fist fights in my life. You have no idea the amount of pain I put through my body. So if you think you're going to get me worked up to where I'm going to attack you, you jackboot thug pig, you're thinking dead wrong, bro. Not going to happen. Now, if I get you in a mat room, I'd love to, but I'm just too old and got too many things going on to wrestle every pig I don't like. And there's a lot of them because it's most of them. Most of these jackboot thug pigs I can't stand. Can't stand them. Can't stand them. And I know that they are. I know what they are. So the 5A cop card's coming out. That 5A cop card's coming out. It's going to be a total game changer for people. You've got to say the words out loud that I put on the 5A cop card so that you go around their two-pronged standard of how you get around the qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a big deal. I'm not saying it's not. But the way the cops enter into your life is through RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion. It's a creation by a racist Supreme Court to grab black people in the 60s. That's what it's created for. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get Terry stopped because you're white. I'm not kidding. That's the way it is. I wish that wasn't the truth, but that is. That is the truth. I mean, if you don't have the trifold in your car, why don't you have it? It should be on your visor immediately now. You should have that trifold in your car. The 5A cop card goes in your wallet. So if you're walking down the street and the cop says, hey, let me see some ID, you give him the 5A cop card. And you say, take a look at number 4 right there. You see number 4? I plead the 5th Amendment. I invoke my First Amendment right to speech and press. Number 4 right there says you have to have probable cause to get my ID. Do you have probable cause? Oh, but I'm reasonably articulable suspicious. Okay, I identify as good citizen. Now I've checked all the boxes of going around his qualified immunity. Now, if he continues to question me, if he takes my property, if he touches me and seizes me, he has gone around his qualified immunity because of the way you did it. Because you did the 6 steps on the 5A cop card. That's what I'm doing here. We have got to make some changes, and the only way it's going to happen is if we understand our rights, we invoke our rights, and we fight back, and we do it through peace, petitioning, press, and we go after them through the legal system. Every single cop who violates your rights, you get it on camera, and then you sue his jackboot thug pig ass. It's the only thing that's working. There's nothing else working. It's just not working. It's not working. I'm not wrong about this. I'm not wrong. You guys are seeing it on camera. I wish... Put me out of business. Put me out of business. Go back to a constitutional standard in this country. Put me out of business. Make it so that I don't have a business to run. I don't have a trifold business or a 5A cop card business because it's being done right. Let's start by putting appointment terms for each and every federal judge and Supreme Court judge. They are absolute tyrannical jackboot thug pigs. Most of the federal judges, all of the Supreme Court, are cop-sucking pieces of shit. Fact. Fact. I wish it wasn't true. You guys have seen me read how many federal cases. How many? Dozens. I've listened to the oral arguments of dozens of federal Supreme Court cases and federal cases with you guys. And what do we hear time and time and time again? That the judge is on the cop's side. He's trying to find a reason why the cop has immunity. We have to get together on this, me and you. We got to get together on this. We have to get together on it. You guys got to have my trifold in your car. It should be right there on your visor every single day. You should have your registration and your proof of insurance in a laminated card on that visor. You got to be prepared. 5A cop card comes out tomorrow. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. Thanks for coming. I'm sorry I didn't see anybody. I can't see any names. I don't have my glasses, so I can't see anybody's. I see Gloria was here. I can't see anything. Scott, I see. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, go to my website, delete Lawz right now, and get yourself a trifold. I don't care if it's a $9 one or the $30 one. If you don't have it, you email me right now. You go to my website, you hit the inquiry form, and you say, Chille, I don't have $9. I'm on disability. I'm on a fixed income. I'll send it to you. I spent literally 2 hours today sending off free trifolds. So it has to get done, though. People, I get your email, and it says, I need your help. I get so many emails, people tell me they need my help, and I can't help everybody. So if I don't get back to you, I'm sorry. There's so many dozens and dozens of emails coming in every day, and across the subject line it says, Chille, please help me. And it's just freaking heartbreaking. And my response every time is the same. You got a video? Because if you got a video, we can expose them. All right, I got to get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming on my TED Talk. Tomorrow, 5A cop card comes out. Tomorrow. All right, love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.